burning down pretty good now. Just wasted all this time and effort. Let's give this another shot. Hello, welcome back to another episode from Pale Horse Survival and Tactical. I'm Bill. I'm glad you could join me. Today we're going to cook fish primitively for lunch. Stay tuned. I'm gathering firewood for the fire, and it's the snow's pretty deep up here. So what I'm doing is I'm gathering firewood from the low hanging dead branches on these conifers. What I wanted to point out is this right here is fatwood. Now you can tell, you'll find this on conifers, specifically pines. These are dead branches, obviously. You'll see that they've been here long enough to where the bark starts to come off and it turns a silvery color. Eventually the end of this will decay and break off. Take quite a few years. And these stubs will remain. That's because these are fatwood, and these are also known as dragon's teeth. They get kind of pointy after a number of years. Erosion will break the ends off. But I'm going to go ahead and put you on the tripod. I'm going to cut that and show you. There's some more there, and it's all over out here. And I cut a few pieces. Earlier. Actually, that one's over in camp. Well, you can see it here. You can see the fat wood in here, and you can always smell that strong, piney scent. That's always an indicator. Stay tuned. That's actually pretty decent fat wood there. And you give it the old smell test. That is solid fat wood. It's actually a pretty good piece. The silvery color is the oxidation of the fat wood. When it's exposed to oxygen, after a time, it'll get this silvery color. It's another way to recognize a piece that is has a high degree of fat wood in it. And that's why you never want to grind your fat wood up. I see people grinding it up into like sawdust and putting it in a tin where you're opening it up, and all of the volatile constituents are exposed to the air and it evaporates, and you're losing a lot of that. Leave it whole or split it into sticks, and then process it at the time that you're going to use it. This oxidation seals that in. If I took a knife blade and I scraped all this off, you'll start to smell it as it opens that up to the air. It's a little tip for you. Alright, I'm over at another tree here. And I just cut this branch off. And again, the silvery, hope you're in some better light, silvery colorations, and it always tends to splinter like this. It's another giveaway. You can see that's solid fat wood. I'm actually not out here collecting fat wood, but just want to, as I run across tips, you can see that you cut them close to the trunk. This one here looks really promising. This stub here, this is what I was just talking about. This one's been here a while. This is a live tree. It's a live pine. People will tell you have to collect it off of dead pines or down pines or whatever. That is not true. You can get it, if you know where to find it, you can get it off live trees. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut this piece here. That one looks like it's pretty fat. Here's another one right here. These are just branches that came off years ago, and the pine will pump the resin there as a defensive measure to plug the wound. And this one probably as well up here, but they're all over the place out here. You walk around, you'll wind up with more fat wood than you'll be able to use in your entire lifetime. And just as I was, where'd you go? There we go. Just as I suspected, solid fat wood. And the nose confirms that. And you can see that is just completely solid. Alright, I better get on with today's video. I never cut the footage when I'm doing primitive fire making because I don't want anybody accusing me of cheating. You see a lot of people cut the scene, and I always film it in one continuous shot. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to let this build up a bed of coals, and then we're going to go ahead and it's starting to snow. We're going to go ahead, I'm going to get some pine needle tea going, and it's a little nippy out here, and I've got a couple small pieces of salmon fillet. Haven't had lunch yet, so I'm going to show you how to cook that up primitively without any cookware. Get some smaller stuff up in here until it builds up a head of steam here. Fire making in cold weather like this and very damp conditions, you really have to stay right on top of it and tend to babysit it. Got some cedar bark here. Put in here. Or birch bark rather. It's snowing pretty good now. This birch bark is awesome. Accelerant. It burns even when it's wet. That was a little shot in the arm that it needed. It's snowing pretty good. It's a good day for salmon. And some pine needle tea. Let this fire build here. We'll go ahead and prepare some, I harvested some pine needles. I have a hard time seeing my screen here, especially in the snow. It's bright out here. I harvested these while I was walking around. Gathering firewood. Cut these up and add a little water. And set that over by the fire. Fire's pretty self-sustaining at this point. Well, it's snowing pretty good now. That should probably be good enough. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and let this fire burn for a while, develop some coals, and let that tea get nice and hot, and let it steep for a bit. And when we're ready to cook the fish, I'll come back. So stay tuned. Show you guys the snow that's coming down up here. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. Snowing pretty good up here. See you in a bit. The fire's doing good. I added a little more wood. Give us a good bed of coals, so just kind of letting that burn down now. And tea. Oh, actually, I could probably go back in for a little bit longer. I'll just set that in for about another 2-3 minutes or so. But we get this bed of coals built up. We'll go ahead and throw the pieces of salmon on there and cook those up and have a lunch and wrap this episode up. Stay tuned. Well, we're almost there. Just waiting for that. I've been gathering up the little pieces from the perimeter and grouping them into the center. And I always use my trusty improvised tongs for that. Just a green forked. This is fir. I usually use fir. It seems to fork the best. And I use that to pick the coals up in the pieces and condense them into the center. So I'm just waiting for that pile to for the flame to go out. And as soon as the flame goes out, the fish will go on. So stay tuned. Just about where we need them. You can cook any meat in this manner as long as it's fairly thin. If it's thick, it will cook on the outside and not on the inside. Just lay it right down in the coals. And that little bit of charcoal that gets on there will not harm you in any way. So let that cook for probably 5 minutes or so on that side, and then we'll flip it. Shouldn't take too long. The charcoal's actually medicinal. It absorbs toxins. A little bit of flame right there. I don't want it to scorch. So give that about 5 minutes per side probably. As long as meat is sliced fairly thin, half an inch, you could probably even go an inch thick. If you go too thick, like I said, it's gonna, the outside is going to cook, and not the inside. Ooh, yeah, that's nice and hot. Well, it stopped snowing. It snowed pretty good for a while there. Had some young guys in some four-wheel drives. That's probably what you heard earlier when I was harvesting wood. And they got over here and got stuck on trying to go into the snow. One had to pull the other one out, and there's a road, two-lane mountain road coming up here, and it's been plowed, so there's a tall berm. It's about 3 foot, almost 4 foot in places. Snow's pretty deep up here. I'm about 6,500 up in the high country, about 6,500 foot in elevation. But you can't pull over on the side of the road. So there's only a couple of little turnouts that have been plowed, and I found one little spot here, so that's why there's people. There's a family over here with their kids playing around, and a few little spots here that you can turn off the road, and so people take advantage of it, which is fine. There's enough room for all of us up here. Personally, I'd rather not see anybody when I come up, but it's kind of hard to get away from people. I could go a lot further in, but this time of the year, it's not plowed. About another half, maybe a quarter mile up the road, they don't plow it, and there's no way you're going to get through there unless you got a dog team. And it goes higher in elevation, so it just gets. So you can just knock that little bit of charcoal off there. Like I said, the charcoal will not harm you in any way. Primitive living isn't exactly super clean. People have been kind of acclimated to cleanliness, and you can still stay clean in a primitive living. It's just a different way of living, and most people would see a little bit of charcoal on there and get squeamish, but you kind of train yourself to getting used to different things. Just wait till I come out with my edible insect series. I demonstrate how to eat insects and ants and things of that nature. More things that people would find hard to deal with, but primitive living, you kind of acclimate to a lot of things. This probably has maybe another 5 minutes, perhaps. Now a whole fish would be even better. You just scale it but leave the skin on. The skin holds the meat together, and you just leave the head on. You can stick a stick into the mouth through the body cavity, and you kind of use that to, or even 2 sticks, and kind of flip-flop it, or you can use something like this, squeeze it, stick it into the mouth, and it'll expand and hold the fish on, and then you can kind of flip-flop it. But the skin helps to hold it on. There's only skin on one side of these patties here, fillets rather. I'll go ahead and flip that back over here. It's a little hot. Getting close. And if you've never had venison cooked like this, you're really missing out. It is really, really good. I've been absent through the winter, most of the winter. It's the first episode I've shot in a while. I've been very busy, insanely busy for the past, I think it's been 3 months, or I think the last episode I shot was in, I believe it was, I think it was October. I might have got up here in November. Getting that nice pink salmon color now. Oh yeah, it's gonna be so good. With the pinky test. If you've seen my video where I cooked a game hen in a rock pit, and I brought a meat thermometer, and I demonstrated how I use my pinky as a gauge. If I can't hold my pinky to the meat, it's usually about 160, 180 degrees. That's always the gauge I use, and I used the meat thermometer, and the temperature came out just about what I figured it would have been. Put this right up here. It's nice and hot there. Yeah, we're getting real close. This one's not quite as hot as I'd like it to be. You want to get your meat up to about 160, 180. Once it reaches that temp, it's done. You kind of eyeball it. If it looks like it's starting to get a little bit dry, then usually it's done also. I can see these are still pretty juicy. This one particularly, this one was still a little frozen. This one was thawed out. This one was thawed out more, so I think it's going to cook. That one's done. Oh yeah. See the steam coming off that. Oh yeah, this one's, you can just see the steam. Tastes like it came off a barbecue. Wow. Give this one another minute. Oh yeah, this is definitely done. Yep, this one's almost ready to pull. This has really come out nice. Wish I'd brought more up. Yep, this is done. It really came out nice. It's just flaking apart. Oh my God. That's really good. I'm gonna set you guys up over on the other side here. Oh my God. It's got a real nice barbecued, charbroiled flavor. Wow. I have to bring more next time I come up. That's really good. I'm going to go ahead and finish my meal, and then I'm going to go ahead and conclude the this episode. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I did making it today. It's been an absolutely beautiful day out here in the mountains. Feels good to be back up. I have a lot of great videos planned this year. Quite a bit of exclusive content. It's never been done before. My work schedule's crazy, so I'm going to get up. I'm planning on getting back into a filming schedule, so look forward to upcoming videos. Also, I want to take a moment to thank all of my new subscribers. Welcome you to the channel here. I appreciate the fact that you find content here interesting enough to you to subscribe, and I appreciate you being here. And definitely appreciate all of my old subscribers who've been with me for a while. And I'm going to go ahead and finish this little bit of salmon I have left here, and I will see all of you very soon on the next one. Everybody take care. Bye-bye.